cup over his balls. He's got to stand up and he's got to hold his hands back here and push his balls into the cup so you can get it all there. And in about 30 seconds, it hardens. The mold hardens, the alginates do. And by that time, he's usually gone soft. And you can slip the cup off unless it catches in some of his pubic hairs. That's what happened to Jimi Hendrix, Cynthia told me. You know. That happened to Eddie, too. He was actually in pain. That's the only part that might possibly be painful, the whole process. But that comes, you know, if you work with the hairs really carefully, you know, to work them loose. And then the cup slips off, and you pour plaster into the mold to be a hole in it. After about an hour or so, the plaster dries. And you peel the alginates off, and you've got a perfect replica of what he looked like at that moment.
I think Jimi Hendrix is the best one she has.
I've never seen it.
The biggest, yeah.
Not the best.
You've never seen any of her casts? They're so lifelike. They're so realistic. Every single line, every vein and everything, I can't believe it.
Well, most people have to laugh when you think of it as an art form, but really it is, and that's the way Cynthia looks upon it, and therefore it is.
You do it as well?
I was Cynthia's plater for about a month.
Yeah?
But not anymore. Yeah, I just had.
You enjoyed that?
I just had 3 jobs. Right. So it depended, you know, it depended upon the castee. It's not just any Joe on the street, you know, just to get, you know, their plaster cock. I mean, that's no big deal. It's just, you know, it's just people whose music she really, really digs. She considers it like a lasting memorial to their art.
One is immortalized through his penis, his plastic penis.
That's supposedly a man's ego. That's supposedly what's really important to him.
It just leaves me cold, I'm afraid. Not from any moral standpoint at all. I just think it's pathetic, frankly, if you want my honest opinion.
Why?
Well, do I need a reason to think it's pathetic? I mean, that is a completely natural reaction. I haven't even stopped to analyse why I think it's pathetic. That is 2 and 2 are 4. I think it's pathetic. Now, if the whole of LA doesn't, I don't give a fuck.
What, you mean you were going to do it until you found out really what it was or something?
Yeah. Well, no, speaking for myself, I had no intention of doing it, but I mean, I was prepared to accept it until now.
But now you just completely...
But now I can't see any possible fucking creative, human, physical, mental, anything in it. So for me, it's out, I'm afraid.
My mother is very ashamed and embarrassed of my having done this, and considers it, you know, and she considers it like to prove a great deficit in my moral character, and therefore as my mother, she's naturally embarrassed of me, and she doesn't, you know, I mean, she hasn't even told my father or anybody else, you know, I mean, my father is the closest person, you know, in our family, and they aren't very close. But I mean, she didn't even tell him, you know, why it was she grounded me. All she said was, you know, Lizzie's grounded, you know, because I don't like the people she's running around with now, and I want to keep her away from them for a while.
I'm
so
afraid
she does.
the detective didn't find out about
Yes.
things.
But anyway, yeah, but anyway, she's got that.
I'm an old friend.
No, I wouldn't say it's Cynthia's fault.
Well,
I wouldn't say it was anybody's fault. It was just my mother, when she's suspicious, you know, about anything, or curious about anything, I mean, you know, she'll just study every aspect of it, and in my case, she studied every aspect of it, found out did not approve, and, you know, and subsequently grounded me as you know, 90% of normal American parents, or, you know, any what do you call it, nationality of parents would do. You know, I mean, you have to figure that's their moral code, and they expect you to abide by it. You know, and even if it wasn't some, you know, plaster casting, balling, and other, you know, immoral acts too terrible to describe, as she so, you know, so eloquently put it. She wouldn't even tell, you know, I come home one night, you're grounded. Why? You know why. Why? For what you've been doing. What have I been doing? You know what you've been doing. You've been doing it.
casters make plaster casts of your dick.
Do they? What do they do with it when they got them?
Cynthia's having a collection.
Gonna put them on display somewhere. Gonna have an exhibition. Gonna have a fucking exhibition. Plaster carries mold.
Wasn't that the one that Jimi Hendrix was shagging all night, his mold?
Yeah. I fancy that though, actually.
So call Cynthia.
What's the number?
213.
What's the number?
213-467-0925.
Tell her you're in Spooky Tooth and you want your knob polished.
There goes your wages.
Hello? Who's this? Cynthia? Oh, good. It's Luther from Spooky Tooth. What's her name?
Cynthia.
Oh,
We've
Cynthia.
talked to her in ages.
How are you?
I'll time you.
Are you still doing the what-you-call-it? The plaster cast. Hey, listen, I want you to do me. You know, I want one for myself to hang on the wall. Pardon? Yeah. Yeah.
You're calling from Chicago.
Yeah. Can you do that, though, for me? You have a new apprentice? Yeah. See, I'd like to, yeah. So book me in, okay.
Cynthia, tell her hello. Oh, Cynthia? Cynthia? What can I... Okay. Cynthia, you cunt. Why haven't you written me? How have you been, man? Oh, I can't believe it. What sign are you?
Capricorn.
Oh, he's a Capricorn.
So I've got big balls.
That's what they all say.
Tell him he's known as Needle Dick the Bug Fucker.
All right. It's gonna cost me a couple of
Oh, I won't be on long. I'll chip in. Talk to her.
Oh, no.
Yeah?
Ready?
2,
Oh,
1,
don't
0.
cut off. Write me.
In art class, we started doing plaster casting. One day the teacher said you could plaster cast almost anything that's solid. In fact, bring in any old object from home. Tomorrow we'll make a cast of it. I thought,
It's all there.
It's like putting your rig into a malted milk, and then it gets hard.
It feels like a TV commercial.
She was gonna do Jimi Hendrix. She needed a victim to like try it out on first.
immediately,
Because-
because he was coming in a
Because
week.
she didn't want to fuck it up on Hendrix, so she'd rather fuck it up on me. But the one thing that stands out in my mind is it got stuck and I stood up and went, oh, sinner. I just like, my life passed in front of me.
Tell him about how many
Stand.
molds we had
That's
made
the kiss.
before
What was
first
it,
time you
2?
stuck your stupid fingers in it. You got so frantic. You tried to pull your rig, and you thought your rig was been pulled out.
It's pretty clear.
I think the most difficult was probably the MC5 because I had to do them both at once. And how could,
But
you know, I have to
there's 5
mix
of
2 molds that splatter all over the place.
It must have been like the witches in Macbeth.
For sure.
You used to have a phallic ring.
Who? No, not me. I used to wear rig metal. Remember?
Right.
Simmons
With
copped one
wings
from
on
a shop, and so I got a bunch of them.
It had wings on it.
Originally it was a keychain, but I hung it around my neck. And me and Barrett and Pest used to wear them and give them to our favorites. What were they? They were little metal rigs with wings, and they were called